With white sandy beaches and turquoise waters, Madagascar is a magnet for European tourists seeking exotic holidays in the sun. One of the best-known beach resorts increasingly known for sex tourism hunt is Nosy Be. Prostitution has become so lucrative a trade on Nosy Be that women and children as young as 14 regularly travel from other parts of the country to sell their bodies on the streets. 17-year-old Lydia has been working in the sex industry for the last year on Nosy Be. She says she sends the money she earns home to her family so they can eat. Sleeping with a foreigner is not the same as sleeping with a Malagasy person. At least you get money with a white person and you can think about planning a future. The Madagascar government recently illegalized prostitution, but Nosy Be locals say the law is hardly implemented and that tourists pay an increasingly high premium for sex with local women. Fabienne Volonanosy worked in the sex industry on Nosy Be close to 15 years. She was spotted taking part in a local beauty contest by a rich Italian tourist who promptly offered to marry her and take her back to Italy to start a new life. Volonanosy has since become a naturalized Italian citizen and, though no longer in contact with her husband, remains grateful to him for taking her from the sex trade.
When I was with him, he took care of me like I was his own child. He was my husband, but he treated me more like his child. I didn't live with him in his home. I hope he has a happy future.
I do this to save my family and the country. I can do it like Fabienne has done it, returning from abroad each time to offer something back to the Madagascar like eye correction. My dream is to be like her. When she comes here, she can do what she wants. She has really made it. For Nicklin Ernest, a young friend who still works in the sex trade, Volonanosy's story is an inspiration. She says one day she hopes she will also meet someone wealthy enough to help her fulfill her dreams. Volonanosy's story is unusual, and the reality for most girls and women is most likely a lifetime on the streets, with risks of working alone at night and an increased exposure to sexually transmitted diseases.
Information and training for people in the village is a new thing. It is to explain to people, to get them to understand that under 18s are people. They're human beings. These young people have protection rights. We also want to explain that these children are not part of the tourism attraction, so we have put units in place to monitor the situation.
So far, the campaign only extends to posters and police checks on the age of women working in the street. A documentary on the sex trade in Nosy Be in 2008 saw several hundred prostitutes kicked off the island and several French tourists arrested and charged with pimping and sex tourism. They're all currently serving 5-year sentences.